Here is everything you need to make your first song. Starting with the software, I personally use Ableton Intro. That's what I use in the very beginning. Um, it's a DAW, digital audio workstation. Now there are many of these on the market, and there's industry standard stuff, and you can get lost in the noise with all of it. At the end of the day, personally for me, no matter what you put on, no matter what system you have, it really is what you throw on the mic. I think one of the greatest gifts that I had learning by myself is realizing at the end of the day, people, if they come to my concert, I want it to sound just like it does in real life. I don't want to throw so many effects on and have it really just distorted and framing that as it sounds cool. Because at the end of the day, the truth's the truth with whatever I put on the microphone. And by allowing myself to keep everything simple with recording, it's helped me as a musician, an artist. So yeah, staying true to myself, which will only help long term. That being said, there's no shame when it comes to using a BandLab, GarageBand, whatever it is. Whatever really at the end of the day system you use, it just is whatever you need to do to make your first song. That being said, I use Ableton. They have Ableton Intro you can get for free, and then it's $99, I believe, one time. And on this system, you're able to plug a microphone in, which we'll talk about in a second, and then you'll be able to hear yourself with a little bit of effects. And you can throw a backing track into there, and you'll be able to record, or you'll be able to play live and hear yourself through that. And that's going to be later on. We'll talk about how that is used in live streaming and song making. So Ableton is what I personally use, and then you can get upgraded features with that. They have a lot of cool opportunities and different sounds and stuff like that. Working our way from the computer, where we have that software, we are going to connect it to a mixer, and that I will have a picture up somewhere. I personally started off with a Scarlett Solo. I found this to be very easy. Basically, I'll do a video showing my connections in a little bit, but you're gonna plug that into the computer, and it'll be a USB that plugs into your computer, and then so now you have a computer plugged into this Scarlett, which is a cheaper mixer, and it does its job. And in that mixer, you'll be able to plug a microphone in. And so the USB plugs into the mixer from the computer, then you can plug a microphone in, and from there, it also has a headphone port where you could put plug in your headphones. And so the mixer's the way for you to get your sound into the computer. It's the technology that you need. And so I'll pop up, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. I don't need to be when it comes to this. It's a very straightforward. You just need a mixer of any kind that'll work. And so I'll throw a link in somewhere. From there, you're gonna need an XLR cable. And I'll pop up a picture. XLR is what you plug into the Scarlett. And then on the other end of it, you have your microphone. Now, it doesn't matter. I am a cellist personally. It doesn't matter what you play, or if you sing. Really what it is you're doing. I also know there's instrumentalists, someone who plays the piano, ways to hook up MIDI to Scarlett. So a MIDI on an electric keyboard, a MIDI is going to have a different type of mechanism needed to plug into the mixer. I know it's not an XLR, it would be something else. I can make a video on that. But you can also have live direct input and record your own music with pretty much anything. But ideally, to have a microphone, you're just going to plug the XLR cable in on one end, and then the other end of the XLR cable, you just plug into the microphone. This is one of my cello mics, as you can see. And this is where the other end of the XLR cable is. I'm currently using another microphone, and so my Scarlett's being utilized. But it looks like this. And on the other side of this cord, it goes right to my cello mic. And so from there, we have the sound going into the microphone through this cord into the connection right here into the XLR cable. that then goes into the Scarlett. From the Scarlett, it goes into the computer. And every mixer will ideally come with a USB cable, so that you have that the ability to connect from the mixer to the computer. In addition, it'll come with a headphone port. I can show that here. Sorry if it messes with the mic. So for the Scarletts, you're gonna want to get a 1/4-inch adapter. It looks like this. Yeah, you get the vibe. You just go to the person at the Guitar Center and type in 1/4, or tell them you need a 1/4-inch adapter. You're gonna plug this into the headphone port, and then I have a 3.5 millimeter extension that I use for my in-ears. I've tried multiple different brands of in-ears, and I found that CB Ear, one of my awesome moderators, Corpy, and Llama, advised me on these, and they're very, very good for the cello, and they're cheap. I'll throw the link in they're about $20, give or take, and for me, I've had Shure in-ears that, you know, where there's more technology, there's more avenues for it to go wrong, for something to go wrong. So you can have good and bad when it comes to that. Ideally, so then on the other side of the 1/4-inch that's plugged in, you have the in-ears. You buy, you get them from Amazon, those headphones, and I just plug them into the other side of this, which then now we have a way for you to hear yourself through the microphone into your computer. I think I have everything covered. If there, also on the mixer, you had the ability to adjust volume, typically of the microphone and of what it is you hear. The Scarlett's 2i2, which is what I currently use, has the opportunity for you to adjust your headphones separately comparative to Scarlett 1, where that's the master of the overall volume for whatever system you plug into. So I have had a situation in the past where I'm playing live and it's hard for me to hear, so I turn the volume up, and it was the mixer was connected to a stereo system, so when I turned it up for my in-ears, it turned it up for everybody else. And so it was a learning experience. From that was when I needed to upgrade, because I was playing live at that. I worked my way up to playing live, and that's when I was like, okay, I needed the ability to turn my headphone volume up separate than the master volume. So that's why I got the 2i2, which is the upgraded version. Also has a separate holder for another microphone, so you could put two. I put a violin and the cello on at the same time. It also has a 48-volt adapter, and some microphones need that extra power, or not adapter, 48-volt power built into it, so it can supply the extra power needed to give you that sound you need. A microphone I would recommend is the Shure SM57, I believe. And this is what I started my first few songs unapologetic. And the first probably 5 or 6 songs, even Step in the Arena, or the Arena, in the Arena, that album was actually created on the SM57 too. When it comes to microphones over time, I would say you'll know when you need to upgrade, or if you want to upgrade, after you make your first few songs. But I don't think there's any need to go crazy when it comes to it, especially, I know there's plenty of people that will buy the gear, do everything but make the song. Becoming the type of person that creates, it'll enable you, creates regardless, it'll enable you to just have a ton of success and efficiency later on. The hardest part is actually just recording the track. The setup and everything is what, it's so funny. I caught myself in the pattern of trying to focus on the setup rather than actually just doing the art. And so I think getting a very basic microphone, let yourself have everything first, the equipment you need. And so if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the comments. I'll make follow-up videos answering everything. But ideally, that is everything you will need in order to have a successful setup to at least hear yourself on an Ableton track. I'm going to make another video about how to set up Ableton, and then I will make a couple other videos about how to turn it into a live stream. But thank you very much, and I will see you on the next video.